This is New Mexico, a land of desert, a land that is a desolate wasteland in some people's eyes, in the rest of America's eyes. But that's a misconception. It is home to the Franquicia Flyguys. And Franquicia is a bad football team.
Yikes.
That is a college that came up in their first year in FBS and went 0-12.
Yikes.
Never scoring more than 7 points in a single game.
Yikes.
All the way throughout the season. I mean, look, they lost 66-0 to North Carolina.
Yikes.
37-0 to Wyoming.
Yikes.
27-10 to Florida State. And they celebrated having scored 10 points for the first time in their school's history. This team is not good. So why are we telling this story? Well, to be put simply, you'll be a part of it. We all will. We will build this team from the literal ground all the way up to a champion. And where will we do it? Right here in the desert. Head coach Richard Angulo, their former head coach, had to be relegated down to an offensive coordinator at UTEP. We'll be playing UTEP just about every year until we're a really good team. They will now become our rival. Richard Angulo has some bad blood with the AD here. But we have a brand new coach. Alejandro Ramirez will be our brand new coach. The coaching staff has been entirely reworked at this program. Everybody fired. Offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. We've already talked about their former head coach. So everything is brand new here in New Mexico, the state with the highest percentage of Spanish-speaking population in America. And we will build them from the literal ground up. As you can see, they're 57 overall, but that's not going to be their final overall. This team is bad. People are now leaving. Angulo was a player's coach, and now he's gone. So now the players don't want to be here. There's only one pipeline state. It's not even the home state of New Mexico. It's Texas. Good luck. Good luck competing with Texas, Texas Tech, Texas A&M, and all the other Texas schools for this Texas talent. This team is so bad, it will take a miracle to make it any better. We will be in the Sun Belt Conference after 1 year in Independent. They were already in the Independent Conference, and they went 0-12. They couldn't find a school they could beat. And now we are bringing in a new class of recruits. James Johnson, the highest of them, the best player on the team. He's a punter, and we'll have to do a lot of it. Mark Cummings at defensive end. We did get him from Texas. He's a top 100 D-end in the country. Maybe he can wreak some havoc. Leroy Hall was an athlete from Ohio, massively underlooked. We'll see if he can break some tackles for us and use his athleticism to make some big plays, and maybe we can put some points on the board. Xavier Edwards was the straight-up halfback that we were looking to bring in. Sarasota, Florida. These are the recruits that were scheduled to come in for Richard Angulo, and these are the ones that stayed. Steve Wright from West Virginia was a strong battle with Charlotte to bring him in. Steve Wright's got a heck of an arm. He throws everything on a rope. We'll see what he can do for this program. Can he be the face of it over the next 4 years? He will be a true freshman starting quarterback. Good luck to him and everyone else on this team. You guys will have an opportunity to affect the story. You guys will have an opportunity to put recruits into this storyline and be a big part of everything that goes on here at Franquicia. Jimmy Cochran, wide receiver. He's not very good. Mark Jackson, he's even worse. From North Fort Myers, Florida, Mark Jackson's had a few drops in camp. That was probably the best play we could show you from Mark Jackson. In fact, the best 2 plays he made all camp. Darryl Scott, no one wanted him. It's easy to tell why. He's not that good. But we'll have to use him. There he is, missing a tackle on a sack on Steve Wright. Here he is again. This time he gets him. Myron Bell from Hurricane, Utah. At least he's a top 100 middle linebacker. And apparently, at least he has some hands. But our schedule will not be easy. Coastal Carolina to start off with, and they've been a very strong Sun Belt opponent for the last few years. UTEP, of course. Told you they'd be on our schedule. Richard Angulo has this date circled on his calendar. He'll be coming into Franquicia, no doubt to get booed. Georgia State, also at home. We'll be going on the road to Oregon. That's a game where we're looking to get some money for our program to perhaps upgrade some facilities. We have Louisiana, ULM, Arkansas State, Texas State, and Troy, all as conference games. And then another road game against a team that could end up getting ranked at some point in Ole Miss. Another game that we're playing solely to get some money for this program. South Alabama and Western Kentucky to close out our season in the Sun Belt Conference. This is not going to be easy. I know the Sun Belt Conference is said to be one of the easier conferences, but we're going to need some help, and that is where our ringer comes in. Antonio de la Cruz will be that man. 6'2", 196 pounds. De La Cruz will not only play receiver for this team, likely slot receiver, and maybe even at times wide receiver number 2 along the outside boundary, but he will also play boundary corner, as he can play both offense and defense. His hands are good, so hopefully he will intercept some passes and get the ball in the hands of our offense, which he will also be a part of. We'll see if he can really be the weapon we'd like him to be. But he's only a 66 overall, so don't expect a ton. Now, I have gone ahead and changed these conferences way different than what they would be normally. I put Notre Dame in the ACC. I have changed some conferences up that I figure might be realignments in the future. Big 12, I have Boise State, Cincinnati, UCF, and Houston having joined the Big 12. That was a rumor a while back. I know that they have since put in 4 different teams. I think it's Cincinnati, Houston, UCF, but not Boise. I think it's somebody else. But we're going to run with this. We can always change this later on in the series if we want to, but these will be how the conference alignments will be looking to start out with. Army, the only independent. I wanted as many in a conference as I could get. You have to leave 1 independent, so that's what we're going to do. Mountain West would be looking like this now without Boise State. And the Pac-12, of course, I might make some moves later on, of course, with the Pac-12 and the Big 10 rumored to be in some kind of a thing together. But Oklahoma and Texas are in the SEC. And Franquicia will start out in the Sun Belt. Hopefully, this is a series that you guys will support in full. But let's get more into the team. So, as you can see, these are the preseason polls, and Clemson, Oklahoma, Florida, Miami, and Georgia are the top 5. Surprising that Alabama is not up in there. But, I mean, at number 6, that's, I guess, good enough for them. Utah is number 7. So we will show you guys all of the teams here, UCF in that top 25 as well. Preseason polls showing we are going to be way at the bottom. Now, the only advantage that Franquicia is going to have is with the Spanish-speaking population. It is a very strong, rich tradition in the history of the Spanish-speaking peoples. And there are a lot of Spanish speakers on this team. A lot of Spanish players getting into football. This is not a program that had a football team a while back. The football program is new. And they're making the jump to the FBS. And they're going to need your help. They're going to need your recruits. They're going to need your storylines. We will see what happens. You guys will have an opportunity to create recruits. I will select a select few every single season. We will also be taking a deep dive into the rest of the league. I want this to be a very deep dynasty mode. I want this to be something encompassing our entire conference and the top 25, and you will know all these players. Why? Because the buck doesn't stop here. We have a Falcons franchise running on Madden 22. If you haven't checked it out, it'll be at the end screen. Check it out when you get there. But this is the Week 1 schedule. Top 25 teams playing each other here. Well, we'll have the Chick-fil-A kickoff game highlights for you in the first official gameplay episode of the series, which will be the next one, episode number 2. We will have other highlighted games for you, not only with top 25 teams, but we will have Sunbelt games being played CPU. We will see how other Sunbelt teams are playing. And of course, we will have our games as well. I want this to be the most immersive NCAA Football Dynasty that you can find on YouTube. And yes, that does include Mr. Hurricane's Kalispell Warhawks Dynasty. I have rewatched it now twice before the makings of some of these videos, and I am completely ready to bring to you guys the best work that I can possibly bring to you for this series. I hope you guys are super excited about that, because I know I am. Florida-Oklahoma will definitely be a game that you will get a peek at in week number 2. I will be letting CPU play out. We'll probably do highlights of certain games before our game, after our game, and even studio updates in the middle of the game. So look out for that. Those are going to be big things. I want to present this in the best way possible. Even in a game that many consider to be one of the greatest sports games of all time, I would like to do something different with the presentation. You guys all know that I like to change it up in Madden as well. Haven't been able to do that because it's not our official save file yet, but this is. I will leave you guys with the guys being redshirted here. You can see them in red. We also have transfers coming in, massive transfers, but they cannot play year number 1. And some of these guys were named by you. Eddie Guerrero, I know, is one. That is one of you guys out there. Stand up, Eddie Guerrero. Let everybody know. We also have a tight end transfer, Gordo Gutierrez. That is one of you guys as well. All the transfers are one of you guys. Now, these transfers are real. I did not modify any of them. These are literally their ratings. They're just good transfers because our school is so crappy that people figure that they can come here and help us out. Those transfers are wildly spread out. We'll see what happens. You can see we have gone down to a 43 overall rating. You saw that in the preseason polls where it shows all the overalls. We're a bad team. You can predict our record in the comments section below. It's probably going to be 0-12. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, but you can tell me what you think in the comments section. This is going to be a long rebuild. This is going to be seasons and seasons of trying to get better, just like Kalispell did. I hope you guys will be along with me for the ride. I appreciate you guys checking this out. Check out the description below for links to the Discord and the Twitch. Come hang out with us outside of YouTube. And if you want to see more franchise, click right here to see some more franchise.
I feel to break somehow.